Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have the final chapter of tripleS's gravity novel, The Universe. I've been really loving it so far, so I'm so excited for the last chapter, but also I'm a little pissed off right now because I wanted to record my reaction to the tripleS Awards, the 2025 tripleS Awards nominations, but there's no subtitles. Modehouse, I have to vote. If I can't watch the video because there's no subtitles, how do I vote? Come on, man, but it's okay. This will cheer me back up because I really am excited for it. I've been loving this. I still don't know how popular it is, how many other people are rating it, but I truly love it, and I truly hope they keep doing stuff like this repeatedly in the future. I just think it's so fun, such a new, cool idea, and I'm excited to see how it all wraps up in the end. Last time we got to see stuff from Dahyun's perspective, which was a surprise, as well as Hayeon's, of course, and we found out that maybe the whales aren't the bad guys, like I was saying since the very beginning, and that the little pink things might actually be the bad guys. And we had a vote, and we decided to have the whales spit them out, which I have to be honest, I don't actually know what that really means. I didn't really understand most of the choices last time, so I was a little confused. I was hoping we'd have a big battle between all the tripleS members, but maybe this will be interesting too. I honestly don't know which whale is spitting out which members. But however it goes, I'm sure it will end in a very interesting way. So let's get into that. But first, do you want to see more tripleS reactions? Then go to the Patreon. I'm going to be, after a little tiny sort of break for the beginning of January to prepare for my big award show video of 2026. Technically 2025, the award show for 2025. Then I will be doing a lot more in 2026. Of content for all sorts of groups, for bonus stuff, and I mean pretty much all the same amount of tripleS content because I'll always do a ton of that, but I'll be doing extra on the Patreon and on YouTube. So check out the Patreon if you want to see all the tripleS content there is to offer, from performances to extra bonus content that I just decided to put on there, and a lot of bonus stuff. So check that out, get it for free using the link in the description. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future tripleS content on here. And let's get into the final chapter. Okay, our last artwork here. Don't really know what's going on. I see a whale in the bottom here, which is clearly not a skeleton. So I'm a little confused about that. Who knows what's happening? But there's whales and they are no longer skeletons. Were those pink things draining them and leaving them as just bones? Because that'd be real fucked up. And I don't really know who most of these members are, but let's get into the chapter. The Universe, final chapter, Christmas Together. Ooh. We are getting a Christmas Alone reference, as I was hoping. Voices overlapped sharply from beyond the inner wall. At first, Seoyeon's calm tune cut through now and then, but even that was soon swallowed by the turmoil. What are they even doing? Hayeon stamped her foot, itching to burst out right this second. That was all she could do. Even if the whale's heart were to let her out kindly, there's no way she could calm 24 people at once. Jung Hayeon was the official all-rounder, in quotes. In other words, she didn't have any one ability that truly stood out when a crisis hit. She has kissing. Come on. Chaeyeon can run things, Jiyeon can dance ballet, Dahyun can lead people, and me? Seriously, what even am I? This is great writing. She's having the classic problem of a protagonist, which is looking around and seeing, man, other members can do ballet in this situation, and I can't, which means they're carrying us. They're carrying the team by using ballet to save us from space whales and little pink creatures. So, and what could I do? I can't do ballet. It's a trope that just never gets old. Dahyun can lead people, and me? Seriously, what even am I? Before tears could even well up, Hayeon fanned her face with both hands. Even the confidence that was usually her greatest weapon was plummeting. In the middle of it all, one of the Mokos stumbled and bumped into Mai. The sharp tip of the spear she was holding pricked the membrane of the whale's heart. So is that what's happening here? So they were in a heart. The Zenith members are looking out from the heart and seeing the other members in the other part of the inside of the whale. I wasn't understanding that last time. I thought they were in space in another whale's heart, and we're looking out and seeing them in a different whale. So they're all in the same whale, I guess. So that makes more sense of the whale spitting them out. Bong, bong, bong. I can't believe I got to do that sound effect on all of these chapters. Now we get 3 times in a row as a grand finale. The whale's scream boomed like thunder. Why does it scream like that? Bong? I mean, you do you. And then the world flipped over. Before Hayeon could even grasp what was happening, a violent gale ripped through everything. When she finally came to, she and the other 5 members were fluttering like sheets of paper, drifting through open space. They must have been blown out through the whale's blowhole. Right after that, the whale threw its head back and spat out a boulder the size of an asteroid. All 18 members were clinging to it. Nian's voice, "Hold on tight," overlapped with Hayeon's terrified scream. And to make matters worse, the rock carrying them was headed straight for Earth. If it keeps going like that, they'll fall and die. But worse than the impending impact was the fact that Hayeon wanted to jump onto that meteor. If the 6 of them were only going to drift through space, lonely and scattered, then she'd rather face the end together with all 24. Holding out to Sumin's, Yeonji's, and Jubin's hands so they wouldn't be swept away, Hayeon stared blankly at the meteor. So the Zenith members were shot out the blowhole, and the others were all sent on a rock out of the whale's mouth. Okay. They probably don't even know we're still here. She was in the middle of that bitter thought when the pink-haired member clinging to the rock lifted her head. It was Kim Seoah. That'll give her the motivation to keep going for her one true love. Someone Hayeon couldn't have been happier to see shot upright and locked eyes with her. "Break fall!" Seoyeon cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted. "What? Break fall, you know it." "What?" "Right." Hayeon let out a short, incredulous laugh. Sure, martial arts girl might be Chaewon's thing, but she herself had learned it too. How ridiculous that she had let her broadcast persona bury her real abilities. Oh, so canonically here, Hayeon's actually a martial arts master and has been hiding it from all of us this whole time. "Once we get home, I'm drawing you as many caricatures as you want." Hayeon poured silent gratitude toward Seoah. "Guys, catch me!" The moment the words left her mouth, all 6 members, and even the aliens who had been swept out with them, linked up into a single line. Using drifting space debris as stepping stones, Hayeon pushed off one after another. What is breakfall? I don't know that term. The momentum and zero gravity sent them all soaring, then brought them down onto the meteor's surface. She rolled and caught the members who dropped a beat later. Everyone was safe. Nice. So far in this chapter, I've just been confused. I don't really know what's happening. So they're floating through space, but then they just started pushing off rocks as stepping stones and then made it to the meteor somehow. Okay. You think if a giant space whale spat it out, the meteor would just be gone pretty quickly and they would be able to catch up, but I guess not. She rolled and caught the members who dropped a beat later. Everyone was safe. Nice. Right then, the meteor entered the atmosphere, and a curtain of flames bloomed around them. From here on, Hayeon hesitated for a split second, then shrugged lightly. "We're together. We'll make it through." In the middle of the fall, Seoah watched in silence. Ooh, Seoah perspective, hell yeah. This is the Seoah content I've been looking for. Fictional version of her. That's what it takes for Seoah to get attention at tripleS, is for them to make a fictional version of her. Seoah watched in silence. She carefully observed everything. The falling meteor, the 24 members clinging to it, and even the one alien that had been dragged along for the ride. Chaewon? One of Seoah's greatest strengths was that she never acted rashly. She rather poured all her effort into assessing the situation first. Is that true? I feel like she doesn't need to assess the situation. I feel like she just naturally knows what to do anyways. She's just that cool. She's just a natural at whatever comes to her. It's fine. Most meteors burn up as they fall, so this one will just poof and disappear. Yuan headed toward the edge of the rock, then glanced back with a baffled look. Okay, why is this one totally fine? Yuan was being like, it's okay, it's fine. This will just burn up with us on it, so we don't have to worry. Alright, all the better for us, Seoyeon said, speaking for the first time after having been dazed for so long. Means we'll have plenty of time to get answers. Bring the pilot here. We can finally hear what's really going on. Right now? Dahyun protested. If not now, when? All eyes turned to the pilot, Moko. The creature hopped about urgently, then tried to explain something through wild gestures, but none of it made sense to anyone. I still don't know if we can trust these things or not. I definitely trust the whales, but maybe you can trust the Mogos too, and it's just a misunderstanding. Oh, right. I'm the only one who hears this. Kotane, who had been listening intently to the alien's endless rambling, took off the crown and placed it on the Moko's head instead. There. Now it should translate, right? The moment Kotane finished speaking, questions flooded in. What was happening? Why are the countless ships invisible from Earth? Was there a divide between what they could and couldn't touch? And what that whale truly was? All of them surging toward her like a foaming wave of question marks. But the first thing that came out of the Moko's mouth was nowhere near a tidy answer. Why are there so many people? Oh, look who's talking! Kaede shot back. How was I supposed to know all of you would get involved? The Moko said, folding his arms as it strode into the middle. Before long, the 24 members sitting in a circle around it had turned it into a tribunal. And who are you trying to call if not us? Dahyun raised her hand for no real reason. Moko turned his head in disbelief. That kid, the one at the concert, the one that died, that was crushed, crushed by a giant skeleton hand? Moko tapped the pendant at its neck, and a hologram of an unfamiliar girl appeared. She looked about Seoah's age, and that alone made Seoah feel a strange sense of kinship. Me too, Seoah. Me with any idol born in 2006. Her! Seoyeon lurched to her feet and nearly lost her balance, supported just in time by Dahyun. For Seoah, this might have been the first time she ever seen Seoyeon truly raise her voice. Why, you know her? Nian asked. I saw her at a fan site, Seoyeon said, pressing her fingers to her brow. Her face had gone so pale that her skull-like features showed through. her skull-like features? You mean having a skull? Doesn't everyone have skull-like features? She couldn't say anything. She just cried. I don't even know her name. What does she have to do with any of this? Moko sighed and adjusted his monocle. Monocle? Since when did it have a monocle? I should have explained from the start. Fine, fine. Blame me for losing the translator. Though maybe blame yourself as well for burning the key on fighting the moment you got it. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting like so confused with so many of these lines and having to like reread them. I don't know what's going on. For burning the key on fighting. The key was the like suit of armor that she got. She fought the moment she got it. Is that what they're talking about? Anyway, that girl woke Zenith. The whale our city is inside. The ground shook like an earthquake. So the whale's called Zenith. Interesting. Moko plucked the broken sword out of Seoyeon's hand. You probably figured it out already. Unlike you, we are beings made of waves, not particles. Oh, so that's why. Seoyeon claps up. Seoyeon from NCT Wish, apparently. Spelled S-I-O-N. So, oh, damn. Wasn't expecting him to be here. That's why we couldn't touch the moon rover, and why we couldn't see those cities from Earth, even though they were right next door. So if there were, say, a loaf of bread made out of waves, we could eat it like this, right? Right. The Moko frowned. Thank goodness. The Moko cleared its throat. In any case, we are living perfectly fine using wave technology. We could leave the original particle form intact and create copies. That's why the city from the sun exists identically inside Zenith, and why you can be here while remaining on Earth at the same time. All this techno-babble here. She nodded in understanding, while beside her, Yubin whispered something to Jiu. Can you imagine how perfect this is? Things made of particles can't hurt us. We're practically immortal. It's not technology. That's stolen whale power. Kotane planted her hands on her hips. Yeah, call it what you like. The Moko grumbled. What exactly did we do wrong? The whale isn't even dead. Its heart stopped, yes, but it could beat again at any time. If it had just stayed asleep, we could have gone on peacefully. Then it suddenly woke up because some girl cried at the exact frequency of Zenith's heart. So this wave cried, just happened to cry tears of pure joy out of watching tripleS, and that was enough to summon a space whale. What kind of crying does that? Hayeon tilted her head. What on earth happened to her? No idea. What I do know is that right before I decided to go down to Earth, she had decided to leave it. The concert? She only went because she heard a meteor would fall. So the girl's crying resonated and restarted the heart, like shattering a glass with your voice? Yuan pressed her hand to her forehead. I just can't accept that. Even if arguing won't change anything, I can't accept it. So what were you planning to do with her? Seoyeon asked, one hand calming Yuan. Lock her up, as always. The Moko shrugged as though it were the most natural answer imaginable. Then the whale goes back to sleep. We just use the key to load her into Zenith's rocket. It's what our ancestors have always done. 24 times, in fact. So that mural was about that? She muttered loud enough for everyone to hear. Then why tell us to stab the heart? That much won't kill it. It's just a ceremony. To the other Moko, you're the first guest they'd had in centuries, so... The Moko trailed off. Seoyeon's brows knit. Fine. Then what happens to the girl once you lock her away? Do you split her like us, detach a wave copy, and only imprison that? The real girl keeps living back on Earth? The Moko avoided her eyes and forced a thin smile. The implication made the entire circle stir uneasily. Right now, that's the only method we have, the Moko said quietly. Since we're already heading to Earth anyway, we may as well do it properly. Hand the girl over to me, or restore you all to normal afterward. Then you go back to your lives. Keep doing your idol thing. It's none of my concern. Okay, at least it's not concerned with us being idols. Thank goodness. I'm actually quite confused right now. 10 minutes later, Seoah had deliberately placed herself a little way away from the heated discussion. Whether they accepted Moko's proposal or not was something the older members would decide. People always said Seoah was mature for her age, but she knew very well that praise like that often came with the expectation that she should stay tied down by it. Just like Dahyun had said back on Neptune, the youngest job was simply to not get hurt. Even if she wanted to do more, stillness was considered a virtue. She stared blankly at the flames licking the edge of the falling meteor. Soon she felt someone settle quietly beside her. What are you doing? Fire gazing? Ugh, cute. It was Lin. Ugh, cute. Seoah turned her head away for no real reason. Lin calling her cute was nothing new, but right now it only made her uneasy. Why? Are you scared? We'll probably be able to go home soon, so don't worry. No, it's not that. It's just weird. Seoah pouted. You heard them. That girl cried, and that woke the whale Zenith up. If she cried, she must have been hurting over something. So the plan is to sacrifice her to save the world? The universe had been thrown into crisis because of one child's grief. Why is that child's happiness not valued as highly as the universe itself? Weren't the two worth the same? Seoah could not accept Moko's logic. It is kind of strange. Lin gently patted Seoah's head. If it bothers you that much, why not go say something? Should I? Seoah asked back. What do you have to lose? Lin shrugged. Maybe she's right. Seoah steadied herself and headed straight into the center of the circle of older members. With every step, her thoughts fell into clearer order. By the time she reached the middle, her resolve had distilled into a single simple sentence. She took a deep breath. We'll stay. Every eye, including Moko, swung toward her. The Neptune whales wanted to see their mother. So do we really have to put Zenith back to sleep? Seoah continued before Moko could interrupt, shaking her head a little. Since it's already awake, why don't we just let it live freely? If the problem is that the cities shake when Zenith moves, then we can make a smooth route for it. We live together, and if something goes wrong, we can calm it down with the power we've been given. All we have to do is stay. No one needs to be locked up. She squared her shoulders and waited. Seoah, think carefully, Seoyeon said gently. I get how you feel, but this decides whether we can ever go home again. I know, Seoah nodded, and I've already made up my mind. The first to agree with her was Jubi. Yeah, even if we stay here, it doesn't mean we'll be cut off from everyone forever. Whatever our bodies on Earth experience, those memories and emotions will come straight back to us here. Several members, including Jiu, looked at Seoah and Jubin as if unsure whether to believe them. Then let's vote. Seoah pressed forward. She couldn't back down now. Let's have a gravity. We all think about it for a bit, then decide, do we bring that girl here, or do we stay instead? If even one person is against staying, we go back. A murmur rolled through the group. Soon it felt as though everyone had accepted the Seoah's proposal. They were given 5 minutes. Seoah watched Xinyu and Hayeon speaking in worried tones, Yuan and Seoyeon sharing a deep conversation, and even Cheon, usually playful, joining in with an uncharacteristically serious face. During that time, the meteor slowly cracked open, and through the fissures the Earth came into view. They're close enough now to distinguish countries, mountain ranges dusted with snow, and cities glimmering faintly below. Okay. Quick pause. Still very confused about what's going on. Recap. So the Mokos living in this whale because they exist in wave form, and so they have to live in the whales, but they put the whale to sleep, and now they're like, what? So what? We aren't killing it. We're just putting it to sleep, but still kind of fucked up. Still very fucked up. And then this girl woke the whale up with her crying. So like, okay, we'll lock her in a rocket, which will put the whale back to sleep. And now Seoah's like, instead we'll stay, so the girl can go back to Earth, and then we'll just be stuck here with the two different versions of us. So there will be the versions of us on Earth, but we'll still get stuff from them. So it's like we'll kind of experience the stuff on Earth as well, but we also stay here. But why can't they return? Why can't they return to their bodies? They're just doing all this to help the Mokos? Why do they deserve that? We should be saying, no, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you living inside a whale without its consent? Why are they offering for all 24 of them to stay just so the girl doesn't have to be put to sleep? So they're just staying? I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly. This is all very confusing for me right now. I understood the first 3 chapters fine. This is just confusing me. So today really is Christmas, or maybe Christmas Eve? Seoah took a small step back from the fracture. There suddenly seemed to be so much she was about to lose. If she chose to remain with Zenith, she would never again hold her doll Toto. No, not Toto. Never again eat a perfect bowl of spicy peeping naengmyeon. There would be no Christmas spent with family. Even though it had been her idea, her heart faltered. But it was still bearable. If she could save even one person, she was ready to give everything. I don't know about the logic of that. Like, if it's to save one person, I'll sacrifice 23 other people and myself. I don't... All right. And also clearly, like, the real issue here is these Mokos. Like, why are they doing that? What the hell? That had been the very reason she'd wanted to become an idol in the first place. Job aside, she wanted to become someone others could lean on. Someone who gave strength just by existing. Someone who, even indirectly, could save a life. Now that she truly had become that kind of person, it was time to act on it. Seoah resolved to protect that younger fan's life. I mean, they aren't going to kill her, but yeah, I mean, protect her, but do that by saying, hey, Mokos, stop. Go live somewhere else. Like, are you going to die if you don't live in this whale right now? I don't know, but like, you can't just keep kidnapping humans to protect yourself. When the time was up, all 24 members stood in a circle. They turned their backs toward the center and closed their eyes. Moko presided from within the ring, muttering for quite a while about how none of this was remotely normal, before clearing his throat. All who wish to remain here as guardians of Zenith and the Moko, raise your hands. And those who wish to seal the cause of all of this inside the rocket and return to your original lives. A breath of silence passed. That's enough, Moko sighed. Unanimous. Reactions varied. Mayu and Nian smiled bitterly. Sullin let out a breath of relief. Thank God, we get to stay in this whale for the rest of our life. Dahyun simply collapsed to the ground. Do you like my method acting? Beneath all of them lay the same emotion. It was the right thing to do. Everything moved quickly after that. Coltonay suggested summoning the baby whales. Hayeon called them with a dolphin-like whistle. Xinyu and Dahyun organized boarding. Sullin checked one by one that no one was missing. Maybe there's some information I'm missing that makes this all make more sense and makes their decisions rational. Right now, I don't get it. They're the same older sisters Seoah had always known, only now they looked even more reliable. You did well, Seoyeon said as she lifted Seoah onto one of the smaller whales. Really well. So again, now I'm just confused. Aren't they supposed to be skeleton whales? Isn't that what they said? They're just like skeletons. But they aren't here. So is that just when the Mokos do it? But if, I thought in the last chapter, when Neptune was riding them, they were also skeleton whales. I don't know what's going on. This is Seoah here. And this is Hayeon. And just a bunch of other members. I don't know who. Is this Sullin? Kind of looks like her. She was the one with Seoah. I was like guessing which members are which, but I don't really know. This time, yeah. Seoah hesitated. But now we really have to live here. What if I was wrong? Seoyeon didn't answer for a while. Then she climbed on behind Seoah and grinned. That's what I'm here for. To fix things if something goes wrong, she said brightly. Don't go acting like you're all grown up already. You've got a long way to go. With that, the baby wheel surged upward. The meteor that had once loomed so ominously shattered apart. Seoah watched until every fragment melted away like candle wax, before finally facing forward again. Stars embroidered the void of space like snowflakes scattering in stage lights. Merry Christmas, Seoyeon said with a smile. Are we gonna end it here? After returning to Zenith, the members began debating how to carry out Seoah's plan. In the end, after a long discussion, tripleS concluded. Just as chance had split them apart, they would divide into 4 teams of 6. Each team would head to the moon, the sun, and Neptune, alongside the Moko, building beacons on each celestial body so Zenith could follow a safe, fixed course. One team would remain inside Zenith itself, tending to its heart and making sure the Moko did not do anything rash. So just babysitting these evil creatures. Since it doesn't look like these transformations are going away anytime soon, Seoyeon smiled slightly. Why don't we help the Moko rebuild their city so that eventually they can leave Zenith altogether, so that then Zenith can go back to living peacefully on Neptune? The members responded with warmth and enthusiasm. That's the first good idea I've heard. I'd be like, see, that makes sense. That's actually, stopping this. I don't know. Even the pilot Moko, who had looked sour the entire time, finally dropped his shoulders in resignation. Saw his feet, it muttered, superheroes, all of you. Hero. This is a teaser for tripleS's next comeback. It's going to be a superhero concept. Clearly meant it as a grumble, but Seoah's heart still raced. Just like when her debut had first been confirmed, she was suddenly full of expectation for a new life. It felt strange that tripleS would now be split into 4, but just as they had always been 24-1, they could become 4-1 as well. There's nothing left to worry about. This is going to be fun. Nothing left to worry about, except for these evil creatures that are just kidnapping these poor whales and putting them to sleep indefinitely so they can live inside them. And now none of you get to ever be idols again or do anything with your lives other than protect this whale. Not my idea of a happy ending, but I'm glad at least they're happy about it. That was crazy. That was a crazy ending. Wow. I still really enjoyed the whole thing. Just getting to the end and having this full, complete story of tripleS, and it's all spacey and they don't even return to being idols at the end. That's kind of interesting and fun. Makes it feel even more like a, fictional story. But that's just such a weird ending. I truly don't get the ending. It's very strange. These Mokos are villains. Am I wrong? Did I miss something? They are doing stuff they should not be doing. Can they not live anywhere else? Do they die if they do not live inside these whales? If so, I guess I can understand it. If it's literally death or putting a whale to sleep so you could live into it, I guess I wouldn't blame them. But they kind of just brushed over that. No one was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why? And now they just readily accepted this, all 24 of them, just to protect one girl. It's cool, I guess. But now they're all just happy about it. This is going to be fun. Is it? That's now you're just going to go to Neptune and stay there forever? Are you still going to age? Are you, I don't know, you're like a spirit now. You're separate from your actual body. Are you going to age with your body and you're all just going to die up here? How quickly can they rebuild a city? Can they do that in their whole lives? I feel like I need a sequel just to get into the logistics of it, because this is all a crazy plan that they're all completely confident in. And it only took a few minutes. They're like, okay, I'll never see my family again. I'll never be an idol again. All this stuff we've gone through to become tripleS, let's just throw it away. Now we'll just protect whales. We can just be on a yacht on the sun for the rest of our lives. That's kind of cool. I keep saying that's pretty cool. I mean, there is probably no better place to spend the rest of your life just in terms of a cool view, because damn, that's cool. I can't get over. It's been 3 chapters since that, but can't get over how cool that visual is. Yeah, that's it. That's that's it. That's the end of the story. We did it. We didn't beat the villains, and now we're living with them for the rest of our lives and never seeing our families again. I was saying since the beginning, wouldn't it be funny if we got a bad ending? I feel like we did. I feel like that's what happened right now. They're portraying it as if it's not, but that's what it feels like to me. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I think it's a crazy, crazy ending that doesn't make much sense to me. But like, this is all just kind of a short story. I'm not like that invested in it. I'm just really enjoying reading it. So I didn't care about like the ending that much. But yeah, if this was like a huge long novel and like this was how it ended, I would be pretty disappointed because this really doesn't make sense to me. But for now, I'm just very entertained. I feel like what I was slightly wishing for came true. Just getting a bad ending, because that would be funny. Yeah, tripleS is stuck in space forever now. The end. They're all gonna die up here. They're never gonna see their families again. Never gonna perform again. The end. It's kind of funny, man. What a bold way of writing the first ever official tripleS story. Just the end. tripleS withers away in space. It is kind of iconic. I respect how bold it was. I wonder if this ending was affected by our votes or not. If we chose other things, would we have gotten something different, or was this the plan from the beginning? I don't know. How much did the spitting out of the members actually even make a difference? Like, what were the other choices? Would the others have even changed stuff that much? I don't know. Like, was this ending decided after the vote or from the beginning? I don't know how this whole thing worked. Like, maybe they actually wrote each chapter after each vote and just had to come up with something new every time. I don't know. I don't know how it's working. But overall, just one more time, crazy ending. I don't get it, but a very enjoyable ride from start to finish still. This last chapter especially was quite confusing, but the first three weren't, and I just enjoyed the ride of getting more and more information. And now it kind of wasn't as complex as it felt like, but you know, it was still enjoyable. I liked seeing different perspectives of different members more than I was expecting. Got 6 different perspectives, right? Got Seoah thrown in as a little extra one at the end. It's pretty cool. She is on the thumbnail of Christmas Alone, so it makes sense. So yeah, I think the universe was fun. Absolutely crazy. And I hope they do something else like this in the future. And I hope it makes a little more sense. I hope they keep the same amount of intrigue from the first 3 chapters, just adding in these little cool visuals. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I could imagine very well in my head. Those cool, like, oh, going to Neptune, going to the sun, going into these whales, and just a lot of cool space stuff I could imagine. Crazy sci-fi fantasy stuff. So I hope they keep that kind of stuff and all these clues to like the murals and everything. Why the murals looked like them, right? It just happened to be 24 members. Why? That's weird. I don't know why. But I hope they keep stuff like that if they do a story like this in the future, but make the ending make a little more sense. And they'll still definitely have Gravity decide it, but maybe like come up with a few endings that make sense, and then just have Gravity to decide how we get to any of the different endings that they predetermine. Yeah, that's about all the thoughts I have. Thank you for watching. Come back for whenever they finally subtitle the goddamn tripleS Awards video, and then after that, I suppose there won't be any more tripleS content now, because they're all gone. They're all gonna die of old age in space, protecting a civilization of evil little fucking pink creatures. So no more tripleS content. So let me know what other groups you'd want to see content for in the comments, and have to come up with a replacement for tripleS. I'll definitely be greatly mourning them. So thanks for watching. Check out the Patreon if you want to see more content. Leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.